Thierry, the longevity, I think, is remarkable. I think Kylian's on a trajectory which is
stratospheric.
It could surpass.
Remarkable,
Yeah.
really. He's already won the World Cup and he's going to win the Ballon d'Or, that's for sure.
Not exactly the same, but I've said you're very similar to Mbappe, where he'll come wide, he creates things, he scores goals.
Pace. Finesse. Magic.
Mbappe lines one up, and Mbappe!
It's hard to watch Kylian Mbappe and not see the similarities with Thierry Henry. Both are left wingers that can play centrally, both are rapid and excellent dribblers, and more importantly, they can both create something out of nothing when their team needs it the most. Henry is seen by many as the best player to ever grace the Premier League. He is an icon for Arsenal and a legend to the footballing world. But what if I told you that despite playing in a worse league, Kylian Mbappe has already surpassed Thierry Henry's legacy?
If this was years ago, who would win in a race?
J'aurais gagné contre un Titi de Red Bull.
In 794 games, Thierry Henry scored 360 goals and provided 177 assists. Mbappe, on the other hand, already has 282 goals and 124 assists in half the games. Now you might say, well, of course Mbappe has better stats. He's played his entire career in Ligue 1. Well, Henry started his career in Ligue 1 as well, playing for the same team as Mbappe, Monaco. Henry spent one season playing for Monaco B and then 5 seasons for Monaco's official squad. In 141 games for Monaco, Henry scored 28 goals and provided 3 assists. He was 22 years old in his final season at Monaco in France. Mbappe, on the other hand, once again in less games, achieved more at an even younger age than Henry. In 60 games for the Monaco first team, Mbappe scored 27 goals and provided 16 assists. Mbappe was the youngest ever first team player to make his debut, aged 16 years and 347 days. He broke the record previously held by, you guessed it, Thierry Henry in 1994. But Mbappe wasn't done. On the 20th of February 2016, Mbappe scored his first ever goal for the first team. A stoppage time goal in a 3-1 league win over Troyes, becoming the youngest first team goal scorer in Monaco's history. Once again overshadowing Henry in the process. Now, it's not always about stats. Henry was the French Young Footballer of the Year in 1996, and even helped Monaco win the Ligue 1 title in the 1997 season. The following season, his performances helped Monaco reach the Champions League semi-final, scoring 7 goals in the competition. But Mbappe did the exact same thing in the 2016-2017 season. Mbappe scored 15 goals to go along with 11 assists in Ligue 1, helping Monaco win the league title against the mighty PSG who had won the season before. Winning the league by 8 points against a state-backed team is impressive, and shows just how good Mbappe and Monaco were. To put into perspective, when Henry helped Monaco win the Ligue 1 title, he had only 4 goals and no assists. Meanwhile, Mbappe had 3 times the amount of goals and was an unbelievable creator.
What I think you had, and Kylian Mbappe certainly has, is they put fear in defenders.
Mbappe continued his good form into the Champions League that season, just like Henry did in the 1998 season. Mbappe scored his first European competition goal against Manchester City in the Champions League round of 16. It made him the second youngest French scorer in Champions League history, behind only Karim Benzema. Even though Monaco had lost the first leg 5-3, it was obvious that Manchester City had issues defending Mbappe due to his pace and dribbling.
Yes, because speed does make people scared. He instilled fear into defenders.
On March 15, 2017, Man City and Monaco met again for the second leg, with Mbappe scoring the opening goal. In a goal-fest of a game, Monaco tied Manchester City 6-6, going through on away goals. The game against City showed just how dangerous Mbappe can be. But the quarterfinals against Dortmund is when he really showed himself to the world. Mbappe was causing problems to the Dortmund defense early on. He was way too fast to contain, and despite being very young, he was always composed on the ball. In the 17th minute, he got behind the Dortmund back line and was taken down by Socrates, resulting in a penalty. Fabinho ended up missing the penalty, but that didn't stop Mbappe from taking over the game. Just a few minutes later, Mbappe scored with his thigh. Then in the 78th minute, he capitalized on a poor pass from Piszczek and he was gone. Blistering pace, but it's the finish that makes Mbappe elite. There's a lot of players who are quick, a lot of players that would have made the same interception. But how many of them are composed enough to slot the shot into the corner on a big Champions League game away from home?
The leg, because he cannot lift his leg because he went that way because of that body position. And that's why the big man is special.
In the second leg, he opened the scoring as well. Monaco ended up defeating Dortmund and advancing to the semi-finals. They lost 4-1 on aggregate to Juventus in the next round, but Mbappe did end up scoring the team's only goal in that game. While Henry's 7 goals in the Champions League in the 1998 season was impressive, with him scoring twice against Bayer Leverkusen and Sporting, along with a goal in the semi-final second leg against Juventus, the majority of all his goals came in the group stages. Mbappe, meanwhile, hits his best form in the knockout games. In the bigger matches, Mbappe seems to perform better, and that is a theme that we will continue seeing throughout the video.
But if you open that window, he's waiting. Are you moving? If you're moving, I'm going. This is what he did. And he does that to the T. And I like the way he thinks about it, because he thinks about how he can score goals. It doesn't just happen like that.
Until now, both of their careers are very comparable. But this is where the story gets interesting. Henry goes to Juventus while Mbappe joins PSG. Not many people know that Henry played for Juventus, and there's a reason for that. He struggled in Italy, scoring only 3 goals and getting just 2 assists in 90 games. He played a variety of positions, but was nowhere near the goal scorer that we saw at Monaco. The Serie A teams were very disciplined defensively, making it difficult for Henry to showcase his abilities. He lasted there for just 6 months before making the move to Arsenal. Mbappe, on the other hand, joined PSG on loan with a mandatory purchase option of £180 million. The fee made Mbappe the most expensive teenager ever and the second most expensive transfer of all time. He hit the ground running, showing exactly why that massive transfer fee was justified.
But me, I wanted to write the history of my country, in the league of my country, in the capital.
He scored in his debut in a 5-1 win against Metz. 4 days later, he scored his first of many European goals in a 5-0 win against Celtic. He starred in PSG's 3-0 victory over Bayern Munich in the second group game of the Champions League, showing his playmaking ability by setting up goals for Edison Cavani and Neymar. Against Bayern on the 6th of December, Mbappe scored his 10th career Champions League goal, becoming the youngest player to reach that mark at the time at the age of 18 years and 11 months. 21 goals and 16 assists, along with a domestic double in his first season at PSG. At 19 years of age, Thierry Henry was still at Monaco and was nowhere near the levels that we were seeing from Mbappe. But people still like Henry more. Henry didn't develop into the elite player we all know now until his move to Arsenal. Despite his poor performances at Juventus, Arsene Wenger had faith that he could develop Henry into a world-class player. Henry's start was weak, failing to score in his first 8 games at Arsenal. He was really struggling in the first few months. He even admitted that he had to relearn everything about striking a ball.
But it looked like I was a fan, to be fair, and I was rubbish anyway, so I wasn't playing well. I wasn't there. We just won 5, they didn't see my name on the board. I didn't do anything yet.
However, these struggles did not last long, with the Frenchman finishing with 26 goals in his first season. The next season, he continued his good form with 22 goals and 11 assists in all competitions. One of the goals being his iconic strike against Manchester United, where with his back to goal, he flicked the ball up, then volleyed it in. From here, Henry only got better, establishing himself as Arsenal's best player. He scored 32 goals in the 2001-2002 season, becoming the league's top goal scorer and helping Arsenal win the Premier League. He scored 32 goals again in the 2002-2003 season. This one was special because he also had a whopping 28 assists to go along with the 32 goals, helping Arsenal win the FA Cup. With 24 goals and 20 assists in the league, Henry set a new record for most assists in a single Premier League season and also became the first player in history to record at least 20 goals and 20 assists in a single season in one of Europe's top 5 leagues. Only Messi has matched this tally. 39 goals in 2003-2004 helped Henry win the European Golden Shoe. He was the co-recipient of the award the next season as well. On top of the stats, Henry was just world class when you watched him. He oozed greatness, and when he was dribbling, it looked like he was gliding by the defenders. There's a reason that he was one of the most feared attackers of all time.
Literally the night before games, he would be the one player in my career that I thought, going to be a tough day tomorrow. And you'd wake up. No one had that effect on me at all but him.
The crazy thing is, Mbappe at a younger age is even better. At just 21 years old in the 2018-2019 season, Mbappe had 39 goals and 17 assists in all competitions, winning the Ligue 1 Player of the Year award and finishing as the top goal scorer. The next season, he had 30 goals and 18 assists in a shortened season due to the pandemic. He finished as the Ligue 1 top goal scorer with 18 goals in just 20 games. The next season, Mbappe scored 42 goals to go along with 11 assists. 8 of the goals coming in 10 Champions League matches. Then in 2021-2022, he channeled his inner Henry and got 39 goals to go along with 26 assists in all competitions. He was actually just 1 assist shy of Thierry Henry's record of 20 plus goals and 20 plus assists in a single league season. Then in 2022-2023, Mbappe did something that Henry hasn't. Score 41 goals. Now I know what you're thinking. How can I compare what Henry did in the best league in the world to what Mbappe has been doing in a league named after an eating app? You would be right. Scoring 30 goals in the mid-2000s in the Premier League against the likes of Chelsea and Manchester United is much harder. Meanwhile, Mbappe plays for the best team in France. However, if it was that easy, why has nobody replicated Mbappe's numbers? There's a reason he's already PSG's top goal scorer of all time, despite arguably not even being in his prime yet. Scoring 30 plus goals consistently is tough in any league, and the fact that Mbappe has been doing it at such a young age shows you just how much of a phenom he is. We need to respect how good Mbappe has been because these numbers are not normal. Since comparing league stats won't satisfy the people who already think that Henry is better, let's look at how they both played in the Champions League to compare. In 112 games in the Champions League, Henry had 50 goals and 22 assists. Mbappe, on the other hand, in just 69 appearances already, has 46 goals and 26 assists. At just 25 years old, Mbappe already has 18 Champions League knockout goals. When the lights are the brightest, that's often when Mbappe shines the most. Just look at how he scored 2 goals to help PSG beat Bayern Munich at the Allianz Arena. Away at the Camp Nou in 2021, he scored a hat-trick against Barcelona to eliminate them in the round of 16. I already discussed what he did for Monaco in the knockout rounds in the 2016-2017 season. Mbappe always rises to the occasion. Henry was good in the Champions League as well, just not as good as Mbappe. 50 goals in the competition is very impressive. He assisted Arsenal's only goal in the 2006 Champions League final and was an important member of the 2008-2009 treble-winning Barcelona team, getting 5 goals and 3 assists. But Mbappe has had more iconic moments and statistically has been much more dominant in the competition. With him being only 25, there is no doubt that his stats will continue to improve, reaching levels that Henry never achieved in the Champions League. While there is debate between Mbappe and Henry's club achievements, there is absolutely no debate when it comes to who achieved more for the French national team. Thierry Henry was good for France. Against a backline of Nesta, Cannavaro, and Maldini, Henry showed that he was too quick to handle. In 123 appearances for the French national team, Henry has 51 goals, the second top goal scorer of all time. Mbappe is only 5 goals behind while having played 48 less games. But above all the stats, Mbappe has been a superstar for France, especially when it comes to the World Cup. At just 18 years of age, Mbappe helped France win the World Cup in 2018. Mbappe got 4 goals, including 1 in the final. His speed on the right side was too much for defenders to handle, as evident from the game against Argentina. To have that much composure on the biggest stage as a teenager is insane. Just when you thought he couldn't get any better, Mbappe elevated his game to another level in the 2022 World Cup. He helped France reach back-to-back World Cup finals. Down 2-0 in the final, it looked like France's dreams were over. Mbappe had been kept quiet for 70 minutes of the game. But in about 10 minutes, everything changed. Mbappe did something that Henry has never done: score a hat-trick in a World Cup final. With the hopes of an entire nation on his back, Mbappe took over the game, scoring a penalty and a beautiful sideways volley to send a game that looked finished into extra time. Then in the dying minutes of extra time, he scored again from the penalty spot, sending the game to penalties. Although France lost the final, Mbappe won the Golden Boot and the Silver Ball. That game was proof that we were watching a legend in the making. Henry was good for France, but he was never the best player. Meanwhile, Mbappe has been the face of French football. Mbappe isn't just following Henry's steps, he's running ahead, making his own mark with every goal he scores and every game he plays. This story isn't just about one player being better than the other. It's about how the game changes, grows, and brings us new heroes. Mbappe's journey shows us that football keeps getting more exciting, with new talents always ready to shine. He has reached levels that only players like Messi and Pele have reached. What's crazy is that his legacy is only just beginning. But there's another French player who's even more gifted than Mbappe. But to really appreciate how good he is, you have to have football IQ. And this video right here covers everything you need to know about the player I'm talking about.